It started with a ship. The Sarah's Grit.
The call of the sea in her endless embrace.
Destiny. And a song to be sung for the ages.
Escape from my family, their sins. And redemption?
A bad hand, risk, and a second chance at the big table.
A promise of charity. The lie for tyranny.
Now we're trapped, lost, and moved like pawns.
Strange nations surround us, and we're all out of room.
The course is unclear. The answers unknown.
We freed slaves, killed monsters, and lost friends.
We're hunted by devils.
We're bound by dragons.
They've raised the stakes. But we're playing blind.
We're alone.
This place is a cage.
How do we survive?
The Everstorm.
Everstorm! The Everstorm! The Everstorm!
What's up?
The Everstorm!
How's it going, everyone?
Welcome, everyone.
We are back.
The Everstorm!
Thanks for the raid, Animal G.
Thank you.
Okay. September fucking sucked because now we could do nothing. But on the plus side, Cam got hitched.
That's true.
Nice.
I had a party.
Good times.
I was
We
already
see each
hitched,
other
but I had a
face-to-face.
party. It was pretty great. It was pretty great.
So, to recap from forever ago. So,
Like 6
where we
months.
last left off, they had decided to raid the Rust Gate, which was a demon hold inside of, a devil hold inside of the Everstorm, where they knew that
Dude, we just
Fulcrums.
started a hype train just
Oh,
from
that's-
Whoa, we got a
Hype
hype
train
train.
is close.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you,
awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, you know what? I
Sweet.
can resubscribe right now, too.
Oh, hell.
I wish I could. I
I've
want to
got
log out of the
18
account.
days left.
All right.
Maybe I don't.
So-
I don't know.
They knew that Fulcrum's mom.
Yes.
Got it going on.
Train incoming.
Hype train!
I don't know what to do with that. I'm recapping. I'm getting nervous just looking at it. So, where they last left off, Fulcrum's mom / Harmony's mom, they knew where she was captured. They went to go free her, and in one of the best thwart DM plot spells ever cast, a combination of calling out the boss devils into a parlay with the intent to trick them into using one of the pins of Sataza, they in effect got the two leaders, the twins, to turn on each other and completely side with Fulcrum and abandoned their effort here. And as is true with devils who have a strict hierarchy of order, if you get the
Great
boss to
trap
abandon
at
the fight,
once.
Sorry about that.
they all leave. And so,
Been a while.
much to Koto's chagrin, who is ready to kick some ass, the fight left before even one swing, and Fulcrum completely dismantled everything. And now as they stand here, they got to finally meet Fulcrum's mom, the beautiful angel, Selaniel. And
She's got it going
she then spoke at length to everybody. They all decided to retire for the evening in, for the first time ever, Sid's magnificent airship. Oh God. Okay, hold on. It was Fortune's Zenith.
Yes.
Yeah!
Nailed it.
Remember that, not my bank account number. I will never. I know that reason. Anyway,
That's funny.
so they spent the night in Fortune's Zenith, and now it's the next morning. And in that time, Selaniel made her case for the immortal soul of her son, and that she doesn't want it to be forfeit, regardless of the power offered from his patron. And so now we stand outside the door of the magnificent mansion in what was once the courtyard of the Rust Gate. And now outside, you guys can see that though the buildings are still here, the whole place, for the first time, has wildlife. When you guys come the next morning, there is actually some birds out here. And you can see that some of these birds and some small, rodent-like wildlife are searching over for whatever they can find, and the eerie silence is gone. And now, for the first time, it sounds like just this weird, abandoned... It almost looks like an abandoned prison that's up in the mountains. But it actually sounds natural for the first time. So, Solaniel's out here. She turns to you, Fulcrum.
So, what do I need to do?
I've never severed this kind of a connection before. Certainly not from someone with whom I was so close. Though I've seen connections broken. I will do everything I can to keep you strong. But I cannot guarantee that you will survive. I will do everything I can. But when we are done, your soul will be free and not bound for her home. I can promise you today eternity. I hope to promise you eternity and the rest of a mortal life. But first, you have to reach out to her.
We spoke not too long ago, but I can do that again. Sure. Just a hi. Thanks for all the help, but see you later. Promise I won't let your daughter eat you.
If you declare your intent, I think that would be enough to get her attention.
What do you guys all think?
It's fantasy.
What?
I'm not sure what that was.
I don't either.
I don't know. It was
My
all
phone.
right. Anyway.
Is that
What do you-
silencing it?
What do you guys all think? I mean, I didn't think about the fact that it might kill me, and I hate to go now right before what's about to happen.
Pipe dream.
Well, I think it might be best to be on the side of good, or anything goes by.
Entering a pit of evil. It's probably true.
I prefer that over that. Went over at the pit to hell. Alrin is staring at 5 feet away from us.
It's still open.
I mean, if
would
the
you all-
family's here?
That's actually...
You don't feel any heat coming from it for the first time, which is strange.
That's actually kind of what I was thinking, Sid. I'm not sure if it's possible. We've done it once before, but maybe if I call out to her and we all will it strong enough, would you come with me?
Of course.
Thanks.
Whatever needs to be done.
Okay. Gonna be fine. All right.
Look, Fulcrum, you've got this. Bardic inspiration.
Boom.
Thanks, Sid. Yeah.
The strongest 3 syllables ever uttered.
All right. I'm gonna form Stitch and like holding it out and looking at it as if I'm addressing it. Sataza, we need to talk. I'm not yours any longer.
you see Keena's dog, Grumps, nervously approaching the sword. And it seems hesitant. It's got its tail between its legs.
In Infernal, I'm going to look at Grumps and say, something to say, Grumps?
And then he unravels, like watching something quickly pull apart made of multiple threads. And then inside of this dog-shaped cocoon that pulls itself apart, you see Spindle step out. And Keena looks uncomfortable but not surprised.
I now present to all of you Sataza, Sinstress of the Nine Hells.
And then Keena's like, what are you talking? And then she drops to all fours. And then as she starts making horrible noises, her body starts vomiting up piles and piles and piles of thread. Until you guys all see... Hold on. I made a handout for y'all.
Nice.
Handouts.
I don't take no handouts.
Oh.
Oh,
Jesus.
That kind.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there she is.
It's America?
She
Yep.
nasty.
The thread piles up and piles up and piles up, and at first it just looks like just a form as if you were to literally dump that much loose all over the place. And then it slowly forms and shifts, and it vaguely takes on a humanoid lump. And then out of the folds, you see the hands form, and then some of it peels back to reveal her face. It looks over at the angels. Foul company you keep, mine.
A lot.
people.
Nice of you to come to me, actually. Thank you. I do appreciate that.
I do not wish our agreement or relationship to come to an end. So I politely refuse to accept your resignation.
I'm thankful for everything you've done for me. All the things you've helped me do and helped me protect. And in light of that, even though I no longer wish to work for you, I do promise I will defend you from your daughter. But I wasn't going to be under the Baron's thumb, and I'm not going to be under yours either.
Your wrath was always the most subtle shade of black. And with that, we begin. Everybody roll initiatives.
Oh, man.
Now, this is going to be weird.
Uh-oh.
Sounds about
We're kinda
right.
still in hell, right?
We're close to
This
hell.
is not a traditional fight that will occur, but more of a, well, I'll show you. So as she
Okay.
says that, you suddenly see threads pull from all over Fulcrum, forming a massive cocoon. It just flares out all at once, Akira style. And he is wound inside of it, and then it all pulls towards her, and then you see other arms start coming out and sewing them together and securing knotwork and tying things off. You see the very tip of Stitch kind of
wandering back and forth amidst the mass, and you're starting to see the very edge of his cloak and part of his boot, but he's starting to get enraptured. And at that point, Solaniel becomes a ball of light and charges into Fulcrum himself.
Did you say something about Shakira appearing?
Shakira. Yeah.
Her hips
Just
don't
like
lie.
Shakira. Hips were not lying at any point.
Oh man,
Except about her taxes.
Shakira was weird.
Yeah, that
We're lying a lot about the taxes.
we can't speak to that.
She and
Don't blame
Mixalon
her hips
really had
for
a lot
that.
in
Her
common.
hips didn't file that.
Her hips are not a
Her
registered
hips made
count.
all the money that required her to pay all the taxes.
So, first things first, you feel a huge tug on multiple strings. And by multiple, I don't mean 5. I mean like 50 that are near your chest and your head. And it's the core of your, like the upper area of your center of gravity is getting pulled. And as you almost pull forward, you feel your charisma is currently automatically dropped to 7.
Ooh.
Got you.
No, sorry. I reduce it by 7 to a 13.
Got
Reading
you.
my own notes and getting confused. So, who's got initiatives? I got Balron's up, Fulcrum's and
I gotta roll
Sid's. Is
mine.
anybody else
Mine rolled,
participating?
but for some reason it didn't populate because right when I rolled, you cleared the turn order.
I
So I'm
do
an 8.
that like a douche knocker.
No, that's okay. I just got an 8.
Oh, hold on.
Okay.
Didn't roll 2 for some reason. Or did it?
It did.
It did. I just rolled 2 5s. Never mind.
Consistent.
So,
My math.
Balron, you're up. This weaving has made Fulcrum almost invisible. Solaniel's gone. As she charges in as a wraith of light figure, she is fading out of existence as she charges into Fulcrum. And now you see a quick burst of light, and you can feel your mother is with you, but everything else is confusing and pain right now. Zelandiel also supports her and forms with the light himself. So both angels are ridden within Fulcrum. Kina is now a full-on
angel.
conduit, and her throat has somewhat enlarged as you see a giant cord of all this string pulsing out of her. Her eyes have shut in pain, and you see threads are pouring out of her and rooting her to the ground.
Yeah.
Balron, you're up.
Okay. Just trying to see. Oh man. Okay. Does it appear as though it's possible to target her without targeting Fulcrum?
Yeah, here's basically the options. You guys can either target the weaving, you can attempt to do something positive in the direction of Fulcrum that will assist him in a mechanical way I've got listed. I've got specifically listed the third option of something else because you guys surprised me and I don't know. And so if you come up with something, I'm willing to roll with it and see how we interpret it. You can also choose to protect Fulcrum and potentially use yourself as a shield to the various things attempting to harm him, in which case you'll take damage he would have taken.
Okay, I see. All right. So I was half tempted to cast Flesh to Stone on Fulcrum just to make him a statue.
I would totally treat that as assisting him.
But that would kind of suck for him the rest of the game, so we won't do that. It was an idea I had. Like a momentary idea of I'll just make him a statue, then she can't pull threads out of him, because that'd be hilarious. But so instead, Balron will move over. If I can do that. And I will use the Mother's Nail to... I'm going to attempt to root her.
Okay.
So that she cannot attempt to flee with him. So I will strike with the nail because I think I have to do that first.
Okay.
I know.
Rio's like, no, make him
I
a
want to make him a statue. I did. It was my initial thought, and then I was like, oh, that would suck if it works, though, because then he'll just be like not participating in this combat with it. It's just kind of important for him. So
He'll become Sir not appearing in this film.
right. Yeah, I don't want to do that to him. That would be a dick thing to do. Whew. Yeah, you take that lady standing there.
All right.
That I probably didn't hit with.
You do strike.
Oh!
You cut through slashes of various threads. They some tear as they all wind and flow. It's like a giant moving mass of like if spaghetti moved inside of the bowl that you're looking at and rolled over itself, and actually kind of looks like as you're boiling pasta and it's moving of its own accord inside, reacting to the water.
Since I use a trident, can I roll it up like spaghetti on a fork?
Sure, that's awesome. I didn't even think about that. It's got a fucking fork.
He only had a spoon to press it against, so he could get a really good roll.
Okay, give me an athletics to twist that fork.
Oh, that's amazing. I can do that. Yeah. Athletics. Boom.
Oh,
so close to a natural
that was
20.
almost 20.
So close.
Okay. I'm basically going to double up what you've already given. So that's what's going to happen there. Fulcrum. It's now officially your turn. So here's how this works. How does this work for you? Did I not figure out how to deal with you? God damn it. Okay. You can attack me, and in which case, you can attack me however you choose, but you're not really going to hurt my body as much as you'll hurt my charisma.
Okay. All right. And am I making? Can I still like spell cast or use my class abilities like a Hexblade's Curse, or is it just like an attack? Okay.
Well, it's more like just a single attack because she has now hamstrung all of your abilities because she gave them to you.
Right. Sure. So I'm just kind of more striking out with a single.
Right. So it's more like your own force of personality and will trying to hurt her. However, the one thing you do feel that... Oh, I skipped over a major detail. I'm sorry. As this is all happening, the guys don't see this, but amidst all the threads flowing over you, you notice the pins aren't in the pin cushion. Or maybe never were. And you can see running along your arm with all the tattoos, at the core of each separate color tattoo is a pin sitting there. Now, they're all in your skin, but they're sticking out. They haven't been driven in yet.
Okay. And are there threads attached to them, or are they just pins that are in my skin?
They are totally threads attached to them,
okay.
In accordance with each color.
Got you. Can I then use my action rather than to try and attack her to attempt to rip out a pin?
Yeah. To remove a pin is a standard wisdom save, but you have a -7 because that's the amount of pins in you.
Okay, so... All right. Okay. That's a +1. Or should I just attack? I think I gotta get these pins out of me. I'm gonna try the pins first. Which one do I want to go for? Let's go for the one I know to be... what's an easy one, hopefully, for me? That's not one of my worst ones. Pride! There's not a whole lot there. We're gonna try and rip out Pride.
Because there's not a whole lot there.
Yeah, I'm hoping it'll be an easy one. I'm worried about Wrath.
Wrath's your favorite.
Yeah, okay. A 17 on my wisdom save.
You start pulling, and as you rip, you feel it almost feels as if you're forcefully pulling your bone through your flesh.
Ugh.
As if your whole arm is coming with it. And you feel crunching, and you see tiny little barbs on the end of the pin take a little chunk of you with it.
Oof.
And now the difficulty's been lowered to 6. Because you pulled a 17, you have time enough to pull a second one.
Oh, we're gonna do that.
Ooh.
All right, so that was pride out. I'm gonna leave this as like a
Good
reminder
add-in,
of what I got here
Good add-in.
to do.
Just realized
Lust should be easy. We're gonna do lust.
because he's in the Midwest now.
He can stay up later because
All right.
he's a man.
Well, that also that
Die hard die. A 16.
they roll 20s. Ah,
Not a 20, but I'll take a 16.
And you're
For
focusing on
lust.
which one now?
Lust, because
I've seen
what?
it.
What's
Well,
that?
And
Your
then
eyes, Fulcrum.
you see not a very large amount of
Difficulty
red
2.
thread go with it. That one actually slides out in a lot of pain, but it doesn't stick like Pride was sticking.
All right.
So as they're both out, you see threads starting to ravel off the tips of where it ends, almost like they have tiny little threads both off the head of the pin and at the tip of the pin, like little roots in a tree that are starting to straggle and pull, and they're ripping and tearing. And as you pull those out, it's a lot of pain, but you also feel for the first time physically lighter weight. Like your whole body feels less heavy than it did before.
Hey. And is that
My two.
am I at a -5 now?
That's correct.
Okay.
Bravo.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. So she is going to take her actions. Sataza, you see a hand flow through this fulcrum and touches the wrath pin and drives it in. So she is now going to do oh, come on. She does 10 points of charisma damage to you.
All right. Should I just take it off my HP or?
You take it off your charisma. Just keep
My
charisma
charisma.
score.
Uh-oh.
Keep your charisma score. There's something you are modding down to temporary.
Okay. Yeah, was it 15? And so that means I'm now at 5.
That's a small bar you got left there.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
So as that drops down, you hear it go. You are a tool to be used, not one to question your place. And that is her turn for now. Sid, you're up. Oh, actually, wait. Because of what Ogle did, I have to make her roll with triple disadvantage.
Oh,
Whoa.
triple disadvantage.
What did he do?
Because there are 3
he used
prongs.
the
I triple dog dared her.
Yeah, he turned her into spaghetti.
She got a 1.
I got 2 ones. I rolled a d4 and a d8.
Does that mean I don't have to take 10 charisma damage?
No, you only take 2.
Oh my god, that's a huge difference.
This is like that time when Set got beat by the fact that the portal wasn't big enough for his form.
So what
to come
happens
through.
is,
Yeah,
as
that's
her
what I did.
hand shoves Wrath in, which gives her, because it's your key, Sin, a bonus damage to her damaging her charisma roll. And so instead of the normal d4, she gets to roll d4 plus a d8.
Yeah.
And so she drives that in. All of a sudden, as her hand is pushing it in, you see all these threads getting pulled away as you see something winding them up on the outside, and then yanks a bunch away in a big round chunk that looks like a bale on the end of a stick.
Yes.
Okay. Sid, you're up.
Okay. So just to concrete this in my head, what I'm seeing. I'm seeing her pulling at threads from Fulcrum.
Fulcrum is enwrapped in a giant ball of string that's flowing out of him in a constant state of motion. All of this string is moving. It is all dry. It's not wet and super gross, but it's eerie nonetheless. There's little frayed strands happening everywhere, and you occasionally see Stitch swing out and in. You occasionally see part of his boot, part of his arm, one of his horns, and you see it's flowing out of her whole body. It's like her whole body reached over Akira style and just swallowed him.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, then I'm going to bring out the shadow, and I'm going to place it right up next to her.
Okay.
Right behind her. And it'll hopefully tap her on the shoulder or something. While that's happening... Alright, Fulcrum. I see you have her all tied up. Let's see what I can add to this. Now I'm going to use Animate Objects. I would like to animate said objects of vast importance that have been pulled out of Fulcrum. 2 pins. I would like to weaponize them against her. I can do up to 10 small items.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
What spell is this?
It's
Animate Objects?
That's the one. Here, I'll hit it here. There you go.
Okay.
Whoa.
Jesus, that's a long description.
That's the biggest description I've ever
It's going to
seen.
be 10 non-magical objects.
10 non-magical objects.
Oh, non-magical. Ah, crap.
You can still cast if you want to.
Yeah.
There's a rock. There's a.
Hold on. This place is made out of rusty metal, right?
Oh, yes.
Chunks of shit all over the place, I imagine. Little pieces of
Give her
sharp,
tetanus.
jagged, nasty,
Come on.
cutting-edged pieces. I'm gonna animate them into a set of scissors. We're gonna come in there, and we're
Rusty
gonna cleave
scissors.
through there. How about them apples? I'm gonna do 10 pieces of metal. 10 small guys.
Okay.
Here's where it gets nutty, because I get to make a bunch of attacks with it. Unless it's some alternate rules that we're doing here.
It's kind of alternate rules.
All right.
So we're going to treat all your attacks as one big attack.
Okay.
However, since I gave Fulcrum and Athletics to do a cool thing, I will give you a similar skill as you see related to all the uses of the scissors that you've crafted.
Oh, this is clearly a sleight of hand situation, I think.
Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. So let's roll an attack roll first, and then a sleight of hand. Now, if the attack roll utterly fails, go ahead and take advantage because you have multiple scissors.
With my screenshot.
Nice.
Wow. Double roll off the 20. Wow.
Double for 8
Debbie
Snacks.
Snacks.
Thank you.
Thank you for this.
Hey, Debbie
Oh,
Snacks.
thanks.
Awesome.
Thanks for coming by. I knew that we were getting in the way of another thing you were watching tonight. I appreciate it.
Yeah, fantastic. Appreciate it.
So
Wow.
the scissors come flying in. They start snipping. Okay, so roll your sleight of hand.
Got it.
This does not have advantage, just what it is.
An 18?
18. It's not great. You do manage to get some of the scissors to snip open a hole for other scissors to dive into, like tiny dog fighting little angry metal scissors that are cutting a hole deeper through the swarm.
Are they doing a
of
trench
string.
run?
Basically.
They're going for that shoot, aren't they?
Mhm.
Stay on target.
It's okay, it's okay.
Stay on target.
Stay on target.
Okay.
I can't shake them.
So as the scissors going snip, you see Fulcrum, all of a sudden you see like a pair of rusty scissors and a couple other ones go past, snip, and they manage to carve a hole through. It's for a brief moment. You actually see Sid off to the side going like this, and he's got like a single flask in one. He's like, doing great, boys. Sip. The scissors go through.
So Taz, I'm
And, with
afraid
that-
the boy is not for you.
she will roll her next attack roll for damage with disadvantage. So she is now going to use a legendary action
Balls.
to just make
Just say no.
2 strikes. So that can't be a 3.
She's targeting someone other than me. I'm gonna use Sentinel.
Okay. Oh shit.
It's a great roll
Okay.
of a total of 15.
Okay. Oh right. Oh, for a second there, I thought you were gonna say Sentinel to take the hit.
Oh, I could do that too. That's true.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're gonna do our
Okay.
Shadow Martyr here. Let's do that.
Okay. So as your shadow slides in to take the hit, you see her hands coming over, and then the tips of the fingers become threads that start to. No, sorry. She reaches the hands over, starts pulling at specific threads, and your shadow gets in the way, and so she dives the hands into your shadow, and you lose 6 charisma.
What? Okay.
Hey,
It's
is
not
my
the
mic
first time.
working?
Your
Yes, it
mic's
is.
working, but
Hey,
you are
that's cool.
frozen.
Yeah, because my entire screen's all just locked up. So I'm going to restart my PC real quick. It's odd that my
Okay.
mic's working. That's
Okay.
cool.
Oh.
All
Why are
right.
you so stoic in that
I will be
picture?
right back.
Prepare
Sorry about
yourselves
that,
for
Jeff.
some amazing camera work.
But
Yeah.
it's Cam's turn anyway, so you're good.
More games.
It'll be a
you're up.
while,
Yeah, you got at least a half an hour. Cam,
at least. Okay. First thing we're gonna do is actually let me see where I'm at. I didn't even see where I was at on the map. I guess I should see if I have like line of sight and shit. I do. Okay. So we're gonna fire a new thing at this lady. This is going to be Beguiling Arrow.
New arrows.
New arrow, Beguiling Arrow.
Who dis?
So
New arrow. Who dis?
that's right, new arrow. Who dis? Okay, where? Oh, I got everything closed up here. There we go. All right, that new die didn't roll amazing, but we still got a 22 to hit.
Okay. That
Is
hits.
that a hit? That's a hit. Okay. So the target must succeed in a wisdom saving throw, which she probably will, but that's okay. So 1, 2, 3, 9, 8. So a 17 is what she has to pass.
I got a 15 on the die roll, so I did defeat you.
You have a -3. Is that correct? No?
All right.
Okay, so you passed, sounds like.
Dustin is the DM now.
Dustin is a DM now. All right.
I'll run this shit anyway.
Ah,
All right,
I've been
so...
relegated to Clint.
Hey, I
we
took
all
the
should
hit.
be
I'm
down.
now Fulcrum.
Yeah, thank you for taking that hit for me.
Oh, he did. That's awesome.
Hey, what was the DC
Okay, so
you had
take-
to beat there on that arrow?
It was a
17.
The 17. I'm gonna use a lucky to make you re-roll that.
Oh, well, that's not a roll.
His saving throw is.
The saving throw.
Oh, his
Yeah.
saving throw is. Sorry, I thought you were saying
Nice.
something I rolled.
I got a 13 on the die roll, which is enough to defeat him.
Damn it!
Son of a bitch.
All right. Well,
Okay.
You can use another lucky again. You get
No.
3 of them, I
no, I'm
think.
saving it.
Sure.
Yep. I'm sure.
All right, so you take...
All right. I'm back. Sorry.
He's back. So you take 14 piercing damage,
Okay.
and then you take 10 psychic damage. Psychic damage. And then we're firing again. Ooh, that was a much better roll. So now we're at a 27 to hit.
That's a hit.
Okay. So we are now going to fire a goading attack.
Oh, this is the one where if I don't attack you,
It's a disadvantage.
bad stuff happens to me.
I think it's just disadvantage.
Is that still a wisdom save of 17?
It is a wisdom save. don't know why these are all wisdom saves, but whatever. So 8.
I'm going to use a legendary resistance on that.
Fine.
Like to hear that.
23 plus 3.
I failed that by 1, and I don't want to fail that.
So you failed that. Okay.
I used a legendary resistance so I would not fail it.
I see.
I failed it, so I burned a
Got
legendary.
it.
Failure is not an option right now.
It's not an option. All right.
Have
Well, you
fun at
take
your game,
26 piercing damage.
Have fun with your game. Later, Debbie.
See ya.
Yeah.
And then, so 26 piercing. And then, what does it take? Would it take my full attack to do any sort of like take a hit for Fulcrum type of thing?
Yeah, that's the choice.
Okay.
You're giving up a base action to do it.
Okay, but it's like the attack action. It's not like the move or the bonus or the freebie or anything like that.
Right.
Okay.
It's
So then we'll just throw one more attack at him. 24.
Hit.
Oh. Take 6 damage.
Ouch!
All right.
All your arrows are just going into the mass, and then your arrows are disappearing inside this giant ball of the most alluring cat toy you've ever seen.
I just assume they're working. And okay. I think what we'll do is just move a bit. We're going to move back here so we can hide. That's a pretty good hide. It's like whatever it's called, cunning action.
Fulcrum, you feel a warmth come over you like someone is spooning you.
Spoony love?
I'm the little spoon, as is appropriate.
And you hear in your ear.
Wait, is this Angel turn?
Yeah.
Is that what this is? Oh.
You hear in your ear.
They're in my hands.
I'm with you.
Save me.
You're going to be okay.
And then she rolls with advantage as provided by her brother, and you heal 3 charisma.
Nice.
That'll play.
Kodo, you're up.
Oh, damn, that was really short.
Kodo grabs his maul and slams the jeweled hilt side down on the ground. And as he does, a spark of purple-looking electricity circles around him, forming an intricate rune as I cast Circle of Power.
I don't know what it is.
All right.
Gonna lock that sucker up.
Okay.
I don't know what it is.
That.
Sounds
But it
impressive.
sounds great.
Circle of Power.
Even if I didn't know what it did, I would roll it. I'd be like, yes, circle of power, do that.
Until the spell ends, for the duration, every friendly creature has advantage on saving throws against spells and magical effects. In addition, any saving throw that succeeds allows you or takes only half damage.
Oh,
That
cool.
allows you to take half, instead takes 0 damage.
So, that's awesome. That's awesome.
That's a lot of panic buttons.
Was that your turn, Kodo?
Dragon Jesus saves.
Dragon Jesus save. The rest of you take damage.
WOWJDD.
That is one action. That's my turn.
Balrin.
Back to me.
Mm-hmm.
Ready.
All right.
Hey,
So
Jeff, can you click the picture of the lady? Because the stream just has the picture of the lady.
Yeah, I was showing it off to the people, but I could turn it off.
Ah, okay.
because I have been gifted with the powers of unlimited beast forms, I no longer have to conserve.
Levi's panicking. Praise be to Dragon Jesus.
So I think this looks like a good opportune time to take the form of a giant spider.
Okay, let me go find one.
Yeah. Why is it always a
choice.
spider with us?
I like how the arachnophobe is all like, "Let's get a spider," and the other
I do too.
arachnophobe's like, "Why are you doing this to me?"
Well, I mean, it makes sense. But I'm just like, what's the worst thing I could possibly think of?
Yep.
Spider.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, one was thinking,
It just popped in there.
I didn't choose anything. Did you choose anything? Did you choose anything? We didn't choose anything.
Hey,
so
Just
now that's my bonus
Popped in
action,
there.
by the way.
It's popped in there.
So my bonus action is to turn into a giant spider, because that's what I do. And that's what I care about.
those are your values.
And for my action, I'd like to use my spider-like ability to take off her threads and begin to weave a web out of her.
There it is.
Okay. All right.
it's pretty great. I like that.
That's awesome.
That's pretty awesome. Build a bridge out of her. Gravy. Okay. So, I will leave you in charge of this one, Balrin Harros. You can here. What's the hit points on it? Well, we're not going to worry too much about hit points right now for you. So,
Oh yeah, this thing is it's monstrous, at a entire like 14 hit or 26 hit points.
okay. Okay.
And he's large, yeah.
Okay, give me an attack roll, and actually no, this would be like an attack roll, and then we'll see. I don't know what giant spider. Hold on.
So giant spider gets proficiency +5 to his attack. So my proficiency is now a 5 or 6. Is it 6 at 20?
You're level 20.
It is 6. So it's a +11 to this thing, bad boy. Okay. Advanced die roller. Don't let me down.
It's a pretty
They
effective
don't
spider.
have stats for what I'm about to look up.
Because we're just making shit up as we go. We're breaking things today because we can.
Oh,
This is definitely like a making shit up kind of thing.
23.
23, he says. He hits.
Yeah, dude.
He hits hard.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, hold on. Giant.
Now I'm done.
Giant. Lots of giants. Scorpion, spider. Of course, they don't even give me what I'm looking for. Okay, it says stealth +7. So what tracks to me is if the idea of a spider is that skill is in stealth, I don't see why it wouldn't have the skill to also then spin a web. So I'm just going to treat that as the same thing. So you have a +7 to spinning a web, and we'll treat this as a any kind of skill in which you have a +7. Just use that.
Okay.
So you can do this as a dex check where the total bonus is equal to a +7.
Okay, then. So I need a +7. Roll. That's a 12.
As you start going in, your deft multiple hands. So your back 4 are holding you steady as the front 4 start pulling and weaving. These threads are fighting you as they are mobile unto themselves. So this is going to require a little bit of winding and unwinding because you're not used to dealing with threads that have a mind of their own. Fulcrum, it is your turn.
All right, we are going to keep going for pins. So as I understand it, currently my charisma is at a 16 after all that ups and downs, but it's still because the amount of pins in me, a -5 to my wisdom save, right?
Correct.
So that's clear? Okay.
Yeah.
And I get advantage on that save now because of Clint?
And don't forget
Yes.
any save, you have a +5 because you're within 30 feet of me also.
Oh, that's... Okay, that's a really big difference. We're going to use the dice from Caravan's Wedding for this one.
Nice.
Come on,
Get it.
save the day.
Come on, dice.
That's pretty good. So that is a 14 +5 from Clint, plus -5, so that ekes out. So yeah, okay. That is a 22.
Nice.
And this was for, I'm sorry, this I didn't specify the pin. This pin I meant to say was going to be sloth.
Okay, 22 is a very big number. You managed to go up to 22, and as all the threads are fighting you and trying to stop your own hand from pulling it out, all of a sudden you feel a slight twinge of, for lack of a better purpose, the right kind of pain. Like when you're getting a back rub and you know exactly where the knot is, and then all of a sudden you pull and slide it out and it comes out painlessly.
Nice.
And when it's gone, it also goes to, you got time enough on the 22 to pull 2 more pins.
2 more. All right, we're doing it. So after that, we're going to keep going down. So now it's a -4. We're going to go with... I feel pretty good about Envy. Doing Envy. Okay, that's 14 on the die again, so that's with all the dice, and now I get one. It would be a 23 because I got a +1 from removing the last one.
And with that, Envy fights you, but it does manage to pull free. And then as you pull Envy free, you hear "Wow!" from somewhere outside the ball.
Nice.
All right, and what do we got left? We got Wrath, which I've shoved way deep in there.
Way in there.
We have...
Shove it in and be done with it. That's what I heard.
We got Gluttony. Oh, man.
That's what I heard.
Done did.
Gluttony and Greed. Let's go for Greed. That's my last one. God, the wedding dice have been great. That one, however, is not great, so I'm going to have to use a Bardic Inspo. Is it a D8?
Yes. Is in fact a D8. Oh.
A 5. That's really good. So that puts me at... Okay, sorry, the math with the new stuff, so... I have a +2, effectively. So this last one is a 16.
Okay. That one... And it fights you. It is a tough one. And that comes out with a lot of pain. And as that one pulls, a whole chunk of your arm pulls up with it.
Oh.
Like a fish hook. And then as it releases, you have a blood spurt that stains multiple threads near you. But that one does come out.
Does this also raise my charisma pulling these out, or is this just making the wisdom save easier?
It's making the wisdom save easier.
Good to know. All right, so that leaves, I have left in me Wrath and Gluttony. I do like seconds and thirds.
So then her turn comes up, and let's see, I've got Pan is providing a disadvantage from his last attack on my damage dealing. She is going to push Gluttony in. So she's going to drive that pin in to give her an additional D6.
Sid's going to interrupt. Get her attention with a reaction to use cutting words.
Okay.
Ooh. You know, Sataz, I was going to tell you about your blunt needles, but sin pointless.
Dad jokes. Dad jokes.
Thank you. I've been doing a lot of them this whole session. Wow. You guys just haven't been hearing them.
That is legit psychic damage.
For real.
I will apply the -8 or a D8 to her damage roll.
Okay, cool. So it's for a single strike, correct?
Right. Yeah.
Because she's going to do 2. So you want to do the first one or the second one?
First one.
Okay. First one. This is the one with the pin. And so, let's see. With the disadvantage, his cutting words distract completely, and though the pin is driven, no pain is caused to your charisma.
Thank you.
And so, with the second one, She is now going to strike you with black threads.
My favorite. The OG.
The OG.
And this time she gets to roll normal. She does 6 charisma damage to you.
Is this a spell-like ability?
I would say so.
Seems that way.
So would my Oath of Ancients that reduces damage from spells work against that?
Sure. So you're saying that it's like a...
Oh, the aura you have that reduces magic damage by half?
Yeah, my aura reduces magic damage by half.
Okay. So then we're going to call that 3 charisma damage instead of 6.
That's great.
It doesn't give it from half. Sorry, it gives you resistance to damage from spells.
Which
but
is
same.
Just saying.
Same effects. So we're good.
Tasty. That is really good.
I'm not done with you.
And then Sid, you're up.
Just didn't hit on his spell. I just heard it. All right. Let's see. What do I want? I was thinking about that pun for too long.
As these threads are whipping around, you start to see in her eyes, and really you're the only one that has a good line of sight on this Fulcrum. You start to see her having to concentrate.
Okay. Fulcrum, you have her on the ropes, I believe. Keep it up. And I will spend another inspiration die on you. Bonus action. And I will continue shearing away. Carve a path.
Thank you. Sweet bardic inspo.
So I get advantage on this because the number?
Because you had multiple scissors.
Oh, come on.
And you miss!
No, because I'm pretty lucky.
Are you though?
Shut your mouth. Yeah, see?
There.
Okay.
And here's that
Captain Chance gets it.
sleight of hand here. Oh, okay.
The sleight of hand manages to fail, so the scissors get thrown off course, and so Squadron Scissors is broken apart briefly, attempting to reform as they all lose each other in the mass of tangled threads.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
Here's one is down.
Let's see, bonus
You managed to
action.
lose the one pair of scissors that was piloted by
Rust
Forkin.
Squadron.
They came from behind.
Let's see.
Rust Squadron's perfect. I love that.
I'm gonna use a second wind to take or not a second wind, a action surge, and I'm gonna go ahead and give him the old foo fops. Sid is gonna roll up.
Bap.
You're gonna bit Bap Foofop?
Gotta watch out for those.
What the hell's the icky stick?
That's right.
John
I can't believe we're summoning that during this game.
I ran into him a couple weeks ago at
Oh,
the
no.
bar. It was interesting. I'll tell you later. But
Was it awesome?
All right.
Always interesting.
I said interesting.
Awesome and interesting. Not
still
the
has his
same.
rapier in
Interesting
hand.
like a car accident, or interesting like things are okay?
Like a car accident.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Another one?
Shit.
That
All right.
sounds about right.
Well, that's sad, but okay.
Sounds about right.
All right. So Sid has used his reaction to insult. No, that came back. He's used his bonus action to give some inspiration. He's tried with the scissors. He spins an action surge, and now he will take his frosty rapier.
Ooh, it's
Give her
frosty.
the what's for.
Okay.
Great with fries.
The frosty rapier.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you
Killing it.
Yes.
Fuck you, dice.
Use that luck.
Nope. Saving it for a clutch moment.
But you got all kinds of luck.
I'm done. My round is over.
A lot of 13s you got that round.
Morgaine.
Ending my vigil.
His watch has ended.
Morgaine, once again, understanding that he is Hawkeye and not Captain Marvel. He is going to do something in the table Levi was talking about to sacrifice himself to take some hits for Fulcrum.
Oh shit. Okay, great.
I didn't know if you had like a list of things or if it's just like I'm ready to take it.
No. You basically just like are doing in my mind, the simplest tanking that there is. You're holding like a move, so to speak,
just to get in the way.
Just get in the way.
Okay.
Which is unfortunately 5e kind of crippled that, and it's something that like Pathfinder could still do because you could hold a move in Pathfinder, but you can't hold a move in 5e.
Yeah,
and I kind of wish you could, because like it would make that more effective. It would make tanking more effective, but nah. So that is what's going to happen with you, and you have sort of prepped, so to speak, for when something's coming towards Fulcrum, and you'll just dive into the mass.
I'm just going to take it.
And so on your turn, with advantage provided by her brother, you get back 4 charisma.
Thanks, Mom.
Kodo.
Actually, I would have to move into range, obviously, to be able to take that, I assume. It's not just like I move when it happens.
You gotta get in there.
Okay, that's what I figured, so I'm going to get in there. Technically, I was stealthed.
Well,
I assume I'm in plain sight at this
I
point.
thought you're going to leap out of the shadows. No!
Dash action, Cam. So, I mean, you wouldn't have to move up there. You would still be able to get there in your turn.
That's true, because I've got my cunning action.
I think you can only use cunning action on your turn. I don't think you can use it as part of a reaction.
Okay.
Before Kodo's turn, Spindle jumps up.
Oh no!
Oh, that son.
And
Looks like he's after me.
He pulls back his little feet hands, and you see he's got 2 little stabby knitting needles.
Steam Steel Murder?
Man.
What's up?
What's up?
That's a bird.
So this will be, how many times we killed Spindle now?
17.
It comes again.
You know, hell is right there. You could just shove him in there and be done with it.
He just put his like head just down the hole. And
you just hold him underwater.
You guys are going to give him a hell swirly?
Yeah, just so he dies permanently.
Okay.
I like Spindle.
That's brutal.
I got a nat 20 on one of my hits, and on my second one, I only got a 19. I don't think a 19 hits you.
It does not.
Okay.
Dangerous is a nat 20 of Spindle, but worth the reroll. What do you think?
Well, you notice that Spindle's got these stabby little knitting needles, and one is green and one is orange.
All right, reroll that. It's
Reroll it.
It's Kodo's lucky day. Get rid of that nat 20.
You're making me re-roll the 20?
Yeah.
Your final luck.
Oh man,
that is
was
shitty.
So nice.
That is
very nice of
I'm
you.
hearing
That is just
Lady T Pirates. Hello.
What's up, Lady T Pirate?
Hello,
Hi, Lady T Pirate.
It's a 1. Is it a 1?
It's a 1.
That was
Stopped himself with a green needle.
3 really well spent luck right there, man.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Okay. He goes to stab Kodo. You cannot have the mystery. And as he's in the middle of saying his threat, he misses with one, and the other he goes to stab, and the green pin bounces off Kodo's armor and goes through Spindle's eye.
Oh. Oh.
And then you see him unravel into a pile of green and orange thread.
Glitching hour brought a lot of people to hang out with us.
What's up? Welcome, Raiders.
Levi, you're gonna have to tell us what that green needle would have done later.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll get to it.
Thank you.
Oh
it
boy.
wouldn't have been great.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Kodo, now you got your turn. Welcome, Raiders. The
walk
guys are
past.
fighting the guys are fighting a weapons manufacturer that works for Hell that makes everything out of thread.
It's that thing.
It's Demon Tony Stark.
It's Demon Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Kind of fighting
I walk
her as a
past
spaghetti
Fulcrum,
monster.
And I ask,
It's kind of a
do you
spaghetti.
mind if I take a swing at this?
Nice.
So we're flanked now. Me and Spider-Man.
Not the kind of Spider-Man you were thinking of, but yeah.
We
Spider
have
Elf.
Hawkeye. We have
Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Doing the things that a spider can.
Welcome back, Vale.
Okay. I'm gonna take El Swingamundo with a wedding die right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it.
Everybody's rolling wedding dice.
Damn it, mine's
That's a
upstairs.
nat 11. So,
Damn. I was like, go wedding die. Go wedding die.
Go wedding die.
Got a wedding die.
which is still a 23. It's a 23 hit.
That's a hit. Yeah.
All right.
Wedding dice. They roll hits.
And I got spells, so I might as well use them to smite with. So I'll
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What good are spells if you can't smite with them?
I don't know.
Yes, smite.
I don't.
That's pretty much the only use that I have for spells.
I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it.
Anything else would be less dignified.
Uncivilized.
Fun.
Pins.
Down to the last two.
Yep.
So 23 regular damage.
I'm waiting for the smitey smite damage.
You have the whammo.
120.
It's gonna be an effing whammo.
Sharpest elbows.
40 radiant damage.
Kodo lays it in. You see a flash of blue-white light, like the same flash of lightning in the core of the threads, singeing many. And you hear her say, "These distractions."
So for my second attack,
But wait, there's more.
should I die hard dice it or wedding dice again? Which one do you want, guys?
That is up to you,
Wedding.
my friend.
Wedding.
Wedding
Wedding.
dice. We're doing
Wedding.
wedding.
Okay.
Even though I just dropped my die hard, it did a 20.
Oh.
That's what they do.
That's what they do.
Okay. All right, an 18 though. So,
All right. All right.
That's a hit. That's a hit.
I like it.
And I got spells to burn. I mean, so yeah, we'll go ahead and smite again.
Smite 'em.
Might as well.
Just
Yeah.
smite 'em.
Might as well. And I can't roll a 2. Thank you. 6. 10. 28 regular.
28.
Did you say the pit to hell was still open, or is it closed?
It is still open. It is
24
cold, but
radiant.
it's still open. Okay. Another, and it looks like all this light inside the threads, and then just all the threads from the exterior are now interior lit. So it's a bizarre pulse, almost like inside of a storm far away, except it's right there in front of you. And she's like, I am a professional, and this is for the greater good. Balrin, go Spider-Man.
Spider Baron, Spider Baron. Doing the things that a spider can do. And at level 20, that's everything.
Everything.
So, Spider Baron, with one of his magical legs of spider awesomeness,
Magical legs.
Magical eggs.
as he comes around this direction, shall reach out and touch a fulcrum. And cast, because I can do that from spider form now, Freedom of movement.
Oh God, freedom of movement.
That's right. For one willing creature, for 1 hour, for the duration, target's movement is unaffected by difficult terrain. Spells and other magical effects can neither reduce the target's speed nor cause the target to be paralyzed or restrained.
Okay. You can now physically move away from her without having to roll anything.
Oh hell, I had advantage on those rolls. I just realized that. Yeah. Okay.
Is there anything else you want to do, or is that your full? It's one action. As a bonus action, you are a spider. I see no reason why you couldn't attempt to weave as a bonus action.
Yeah. For my, I will continue to weave away. Weave away.
Weave away.
Simultaneously.
Okay.
Roll to weave. That's an 18.
That's good. You see, all of a sudden, you now all clearly see Fulcrum from about the collarbone up as the spider goes in and starts pulling stuff apart and holding now these long threads that are pulling them back, almost like a loom that's pulling on a chunk and it's taking a bunch of threads with it. And so now you can see these weird triangle pulls that his many legs are pulling apart, and now you can see Fulcrum in the midst of it all. And you can all see in Fulcrum the pins on his arms have been somewhat driven, but they're hard to get to because his arms are flailing around. He's trying to fight all this. And you can clearly see out of Fulcrum's face a black light glowing black thread that seems to be partially not there. Fulcrum, you don't see this. You don't know it's there.
Okay.
And you can see that thread is connected to Stitch and connected to Sataza. And Fulcrum, you're up.
All right. Here we go. Home stretch. Gluttony, we're coming for you.
Get it.
Like, briefly debated rolling the wedding dice for the gluttony roll because we ate really well.
It was really good. It was very
Fair.
good.
And as such, I should have trusted my gut because that was not great. We're going to go ahead and use the Bardic Inspiration.
Are you rolling advantage on those saving
I
throws?
am, yeah. I rolled a 1 and a 3.
Nice.
But I get to add a +5 to that, and then another +5 from you, and then a +7 because of all the pins I pulled out. No, I'm sorry, I still have 2 in, so +6. So that's a total of 19, even with a 3.
Boom, you got one more you can pull.
Okay, so that's the Bardic Inspiration gone. I don't have Bardic Inspiration then for Wrath, but we're going to go for it, and it's got to be the Fulcrum die.
Oh, it's Jay
Wrath?
Bruce.
Because Wrath has been driven, you roll at disadvantage.
Okay, so it's a straight roll then because the advantage from Kodo?
Correct.
All right, straight roll, no Bardic Inspiration. With a total of
math.
7 and 5 from Clint. Okay, 13. Not amazing. That is. I didn't roll well, but I'm really glad I have my Paladin buddy with me. So that is a 18.
As you remove it, you take 2 charisma damage as you, and then you see the flesh of Fulcrum's arm removed with the final pin. You guys see bone and bleeding flesh, and he is barely conscious. You lose half your hit points right now
All right.
as the last pin is removed. And now all the threads fly off Fulcrum except that single black one as Stitch is in his hand. You can see that black thread, as all the threads pull away from her, Stitch is anchored into his arm by that black wispy thread coming out of his forehead to his arm to Sataza.
My bony arm. And as I pop that last thread, I'm just gonna look at her, just kind of stone faced. Okay. Don't be afraid.
There it is.
You said don't be afraid to her?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
Afraid.
how dare you?
Yes.
At this point, you guys see the mask starts to shake, and you see behind the mask, as it falls down, you see 6 eyes, and the eyes are solid red, and then you see 2 sets of mandibles that are coughing up constant gooey thread that gets woven as she's slowly sliming it out of her mouth into her hands, and it's becoming part of her mass.
There you
Ugly motherfucker.
Motherfucker.
Okay. Okay. And so, on my turn, she is going to just lance at Fulk. No. Fuck this. I know
No.
what to do.
No.
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 She's gonna do what spiders do naturally. She's going to mate with me and then bite my head off.
That's great.
Okay. I got a 22 and a 20, a 22 and a 20 to hit you, Fulcrum, with a normal attack to your
Those-
armor class.
Both hit me unless Morgaine.
I jump in.
Okay. Do Stitches damage to Morgaine as your own sword is trying to kill you.
Okay, so all right, and it's Stitch
So
as
you guys see, as she does this, the black thread connecting them takes his own sword and starts slashing at him with his own sword. And things get very Ash Evil Dead real fast.
right on. Okay, and this is with my current charisma as it is as I'm being eaten, right, by people.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so not as bad as it would have been, guys.
Ugh.
That's a 14 to hit. I rolled a 3. Be thankful.
Miss.
Oh, no. I rolled your attacks.
Oh, you rolled
Oh.
my attack, so let me roll
Yeah.
the damage then. I'm
I
sorry.
hit
what were the
22
attacks
and a
again?
20.
All right, so you
Shield cord. Wow.
Oh, fuck. Yeah?
They both
Yes.
missed.
Okay.
Nice. Love it.
So you see Morgaine literally body hug throw himself in front of your own chest as your own sword tries to stab him. It's very close quarters right here.
So
You've got
Morgaine's
a
got to,
quiver of arrows in your face right now, Fulcrum, as your own sword is trying to hit your friend, and then he shield cords, and you feel your arm extend beyond and bounce off something that cannot hit him.
I dive out sideways, strum the cord, and then point at her as I'm diving by.
You like power slide through it.
So good.
All right, Sid, you're up.
Ooh,
All
no,
right.
I do the like Marty McFly, hit your knees and slide across the.
Yeah,
across
yeah.
the stage.
Yeah.
Power
That's what it
slide.
is.
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tenacious D has a whole episode where they're just trying to teach each other the power slide.
Oh, it hurts.
Fantastic.
So Levi, Sataza is
So, Jeff.
on some surfaces that she is standing on, I assume.
Sid, hold on.
Are any
Yeah.
of them themselves separate objects?
She's standing on uneven rocky terrain because you guys are in the mountains. So some are loose stone, some is part of a much larger body of stone.
Okay. I will drop control of the 8 of my 10 shears
Okay?
so that I can still maintain a good scissor action with the other 2.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then I would
Rust
like
Squadron loses a few boys.
That's true. But instead, I will be attempting to animate, or not attempting, I will be animating some of those stones that are underneath her feet.
Okay?
And I want them to grab a hold of her feet and then start driving themselves over to the hole.
You're gonna slide her home.
You just pick her up and move her.
Okay.
Dump her in.
So give me a. What we'll do this. We'll treat this as a spell attack action to grapple her using your spell attack.
Okay.
And that works for me.
Let's look at some. Roll. Apparently, I don't have this code in. /R 1d20 plus, I think it's 8 at this point with the negative and all that. Is that right? Really low. Yeah, it's 14.
You miss her with your own attack action.
Look, boys, I think it's time we send her home a final time.
Anything else?
Shit.
You're captain of like doing a bunch of stuff in a turn.
True. I will go ahead and use my other tiny objects to continue slicing away at the threads. I'm assuming I don't have the advantage any longer.
You don't.
And I rolled poorly.
A lot of 3s.
But you're so lucky.
Used to be.
Hey, wait a minute. We have an auto crit for some reason. I don't know why.
Do we still?
That's that would be the Song of Battle.
From the
no battle ever occurred, remember? So you guys are all still sitting on it, I believe.
Yeah.
Can I have auto critted the grapple?
Yeah.
Fuck
That
yeah.
that works for me.
Let's do that shit.
So that automatically crits. So go ahead and roll what would be an athletics check, so to speak, with advantage.
Athletics, you say?
Or I'll say that you can force me to roll with disadvantage. Choose. Not you don't get both.
You go ahead and roll with disadvantage. That runs in my favor. Wow.
Damn it.
I
It does roll in his favor.
have a terrible roll for athletics.
All right. Well, I'll reveal my number after.
How about a 13, sir?
No, I will see your 13 with my 10. So with that, the she starts sliding. How far do they move?
That is a...
It's in that spell. It's got to be listed.
Yeah, it is.
Like
Hold
their
on.
movement.
Movement.
It is.
Since they don't have legs, they fly. And they are, where is it? 30 feet.
30 feet.
30 feet. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's pretty.
Should provoke an attack of opportunity.
Based on
I
D&D
don't-
rules, usually when you're forced out, like via throw or something, it doesn't.
I don't have this stupid feat.
I was gonna say I didn't actually see where she went. There she is.
Oh, I will use my bonus action to summon my shadow duplicate. Right there.
Let's give her an extra little nudge.
Uh-huh.
Is that down there? Is that the gate to hell right
Yeah.
there?
It's ready for a Sparta kick.
Right there.
That's the idea.
This is Sparta.
I'm telling you, we just hold her head under and just stab it.
Just swirly her to hell.
Just flush the toilet.
Okay, there's Rack. Do you have control of him? You should. Yeah, you do.
Yep. All right. Well, there we go.
But do we want to send her to hell or do we want to kill her? Like, what's...
Well, that's what I'm saying. If she
Because
is
you can't
in
kill
hell
her,
and you
right.
kill her in hell, she dies permanently. If
So
we
we're
kill
holding her
up
down
top,
while we stab her, while we're holding her
Is this
through.
is this based on 5e rules or is this like Nightmare on Elm Street rules? I just
Find out. I don't know.
do you know that like as a fact or are you just like guessing? I just was wondering.
there we go. Now he's in it.
Okay.
We can learn that at some point. I can't remember.
Does he have an additional action besides being summoned this turn?
Yeah, because I'm going to go ahead and use Unleash Echo. Get
Okay.
an extra attack from him.
Ooh.
Okay. Oh, shit.
Consider yourself unleashed.
Get him, dog. Yeah!
He hits.
He scores with a series of
Ooh.
cock dice. Let's see if I get a good card here. Nope, it didn't complete the set. Okay. All right, so I deliver a frost branding.
Okay.
Frost
Stab.
She's all yours.
On her, she's going to use a legendary action to swipe at.
Jerk.
What's she going to do here?
All that junk.
With all that junk. All that junk.
I'm gonna make you drunk. Make you little drunk off my humps.
She's going to use a legendary action to use Stitch to harm Fulcrum.
Well, I have a reaction from Brack being there. And Sentinel, so I will take another stab at thee.
Okay.
That's like the second time it's rolled off that 20.
It's teased you like at least 3 times tonight already.
Well, it's the edging hour again.
It's the edging hour.
Yuck.
There you go.
Stab. All right, I hit Fulcrum with his own sword for
I'm
a
still
whopping,
defending. I don't know if that counts or not, but
you get to do it once.
Court should be up,
I just didn't know because the new round hadn't happened, so I didn't know if I'd defend whatever or I didn't know how it worked.
You get to stop a strike. Like, you get to stop a strike.
Okay.
So,
it's worth a try.
technically, you stopped 2 that was on her turn, but this is out of a turn sequence because
That's
I'm
true.
using a legendary action to
Legendary.
interrupt. So,
roll stitch damage on myself again.
yes, please. Hurt yourself.
Oh,
Damn it.
minimum damage.
Minimum damage.
Love it.
Stupid. It's dumb.
Stupid minimum damage.
Stupid minimum damage.
When I take half necrotic, so actually that's
It's a 0 then.
well, it's 1.
You're having because of Oh no, it's not magic. Okay.
Morgaine, what are you doing?
Well, that defendy stuff worked pretty well last time.
She's going to run up and do a strike now that she's close.
Nice.
And she hits, doing 22 points of damage. And misses on her second strike.
Wait a minute.
All right. Okay, so Morgaine's going to use his cunning action. He's going to be like, or he's going to move action, use his cunning action to stealth, which he got a lot. It's like 30 something to stealth. Now he's going to fire the missile, and we're going to do a grasping arrow, so that way she can't move any farther away from said hole to hell. All right.
The highway to hell.
Pretty good. Okay, so that is a 31 to hit.
Okay, that's a hit.
I think
Good
it hit. Oh, Jesus. Let's see. 7 plus 15, so it's 22 regular damage.
Yep.
2 sneak attack damage.
Yep.
Sneaky.
Sneaky attacky.
Sneaky 2.
8.
A sneaky cheeky 2.
16, and then 16 slashing damage.
Okay.
And then you have to make a strength athletics check against a 17.
Good night, Air.
Night.
Hey.
Thank you for the nuts.
Thanks for the nuts.
I haven't
Boys are
tried to
nuts
catch
for the
it yet.
nuts. True.
It
You
was
got
a
the catch
wisdom
up? Did you get him?
of 17, you say?
It is not. It is a strength athletics 17.
I fail.
Okay, so that means you are grasped with brambles.
Okay. So when I move, I take damage.
You will take damage when you move 1
Okay.
foot. In
I
addition,
don't
okay, so
think
then
me moving 1 foot is going to be my choice.
That's
it may
correct.
not be. All right. So second attack. Ooh. All right. 27.
Hit.
Take 20. Regular piercing.
That's lovely. Stab,
Lovely. And then, same roll. So another 27. And
Action surge again.
22 damage. Should I add a thing to it?
Should you?
I should. We're going to try the goading attack again.
Sounds like Jeff's going to get involved in some serious nut smuggling.
Hot.
We weren't supposed to talk about that on air.
International nut smuggling.
Oh, ha! Another pun.
Oh no!
Yes.
Oh, that was I was
He just
slow on the upcut. Oh.
Dude, I've
Oh
been
my.
making them rain tonight.
Oh my god, now it's stuck in.
I love the repeat.
It was like a delayed blast fireball. Like I got it, and like everyone else, it took a second before it hit everyone else. Like,
Oh, all right.
Like a rolling cloud kill. Just
Yes, that's right. It takes a minute to get there, but once it does, drops bombs. All right. Take an additional 3 damage. Hi, buddy. Make a wisdom saving throw on a 17.
You can hold Buddy if you wanna.
Well, he can't really walk. So
Okay, poor guy.
He just kind of. Alice is sliding him towards me right now in his dog bed. Come here, buddy. Oh, poor guy. Yeah, he doesn't really walk very well anymore. Come here, buddy.
Oh, Buddy. Dude, don't have to put him on camera just because I said something stupid.
If you look on the camera, though, Cam's microphone got shot by lightning.
Oh, Buddy.
Hey,
Yeah. You want to sit with me, bud? Okay. He can't really protest anymore. He just
He
has to
doesn't have a
sit with me.
choice. He's gonna sit there.
Yeah. Okay. So make a whatever that was. What did I say? A wisdom saving throw.
I did pass that one.
Okay, so then nothing to report there. And then I'm gonna use my action surge.
Jesus.
I'm gonna defend Fulcrum if possible.
Dragon, Jesus.
Aw,
This is
thanks.
taking forever.
If I can do that. I don't know how that works exactly.
Oh, you're gonna protect yourself again?
If I can.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
always a choice right now. So, okay. On my turn,
Good boy.
you feel a well of energy within you well up.
You want to get in your bed?
Let's see. You heal 18 hit points
nice.
as a cure spell from inside seals things up. Some of your tissue starts to grow back over the exposed bone, but it's still a very nasty wound.
My charisma heal at all, or is it still where it was after the damage?
Your charisma has remained.
Okay,
She's triaging what she thinks is a problem.
gotcha.
Kodo, you're up.
I take a look at Fulcrum. How bad off is he?
Half HP.
Okay. As I walk by you, and I am just walking now, I put my hand on your shoulder, and I heal you full, and keep walking. How many hit points that costs?
That's gonna be the temp and
Just Dragon Jesus.
Good boy, buddy.
Get that number for you in a second. Me and math. 68 is what I would have taken.
All right, I got 32 left.
Paladins.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Paladins.
And that is one action.
Right.
Yeah.
That's my action. That. Yeah.
Pretty damn good, though.
That's all I can
That was that.
Okay. Spider Bowern.
all right. So, just occurred to me that I had trained for this very event.
I know. I was waiting for it.
This one time, when I was in the Feywild, I met some dwarves who taught me how to steal people's souls through tying knots.
That's not where I thought this was going.
This seems like an opportune time to
True
use
story.
said knowledge.
Did happen that one time. He got some charisma out of it too.
I did. So, Spider-Bauren is going to start tying her into knots.
Okay. Okay. So we're gonna treat this as an attack roll, and then
Hold on,
I don't want to
attack
do
roll.
this. Yeah, make an attack roll first, and then land the hit.
That's a 29.
Nice. That's beautiful. Okay. So we'll go ahead and make. I'm coming up with mechanics right here.
Gotta change that to Bauren.
I just wonder how much of her charisma I steal, that's all.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your weaving, which is a +7 to your D20 roll. And
I would like to auto crit.
oh,
Yeah.
That boy.
so that's automatically a 27. And then we would double that effect, is what it come out to. So, okay, the spider comes up and starts pulling her apart and tying knots into various areas of color that flow in and out of her. And then she starts actively directing her attention to it. No, get your foot, no. And you start seeing her hands slapping at the spider and trying to undo things as you do serious damage to something that is in her core that feels, though made of string, actively rigid and resisting being pulled apart. Not unlike when you all the thousands of times you guys have attacked a person, you feel inside there something made of thread that is actually very real. And it's at this point you guys become aware that Kina, when she was dragged to this point, is being pulled in her wake by the anchor of threads coming out of her throat.
Oh, shit. Oh, guys. I just found the center of the Tootsie Pop.
Fulcrum, you're up.
All right. Not sure if I can cast spells currently, but given my circumstances with two angels inside of me, would you allow me to use a bonus action to tap into Tasha's otherworldly guise to get in touch with my angel side?
Yeah.
Gotta get in touch with my angel side.
So with my bonus action, then I take on my angel
In
form.
this circumstance, in this moment, it is not even a bonus action.
Oh,
Just
all right. So wings pop, AC goes up by 2, and that's my bonus action. I'm going to actually take my action, though, seeing that she's over there distracted by Balrin, and I'm feeling a little bit more vim and vigor in me after Kodo gave me a good pat on the back. I'm going to try and... been with me for a really long time.
It was like a Dad Dave. It's a Dave pancake pat
It
on
was
the
a
back.
Pan-Dad pat.
Yeah, it was a Pan-Dad pat. And all of a sudden,
proud of you,
plus
son.
500 hit points.
I knock those wounds out of you.
I say you gain all your hit points back and then take 2d10 from the thud.
2d10 bashing. 2d10 bashing.
I would like to attempt to, since it's been with me a long time, I want to try and exert my will on Stitch and try and bring it back under control while she's distracted by Balrin.
Okay, roll.
Just like a roll at my charisma,
and
or
you're going to roll a charisma, like a spell attack.
like a
And,
spell attack. Okay,
Yeah, because it's all based off your charisma anyway.
gotcha.
And then Yeah, you would roll against it as a static.
All right. Let's see how that goes then with the spell attack. So that's with my current charisma and +8. Okay. Go. Nice. That is a 21.
Nice. In that instant, you feel something wrapped around, give slack, and you can control Stitch. The casting of Tasha's Otherworldly was a swift action. So you have this was exerting your will is only going to cost you a bonus, so you still have another action.
Okay.
Full regular action.
Now that I have it, can I attempt? I assume it's probably like stretched out between. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to move since she's over there. I'm going to move to
Now
get
that you have
between-
exerted your will, you see the black line coming from your mind to Stitch to her. It's the first time you've seen it.
Oh. Okay. That changes things potentially. Is it so? It's my mind to her, and then how does
Mind
it go
to Stitch to her. Mind
mind
to Stitch to her.
Stitch to her?
And mind to Stitch to her.
Well, I still have control of Stitch. I'll worry about my thread later. In character, I would be worrying about other people. So I'm going to run to where I see the thread between Kina and Sataza and her getting dragged along. And I'm going to attempt to try and sever that massive strand coming out of her mouth to try and keep her from getting dragged along.
I'm going to interrupt your action. As you're swinging down, she senses it. Her head morphs through her back and appears like the T-1000 between her shoulder blades.
And as she does, I use my reaction and stab her in the neck.
Yes. I like this just auto neck stabbing.
Next stab.
So that's a good point. Did
And
she
it's-
move more than a foot?
No, she didn't. She didn't. She just like
just
sort
stayed in
of
place.
redirected her attention to be like, turn
Got
it.
Okay. Just checking.
And she is going to attempt to what she want to do?
It's all that junk.
She's going to attempt to just hurt you.
Oh.
My AC is currently a 21.
Anyways.
You're not going to take her other servant. Not today.
Can I get there to defend?
Oh yeah, you said you're gonna.
Can.
Shit. It's fucking teamwork.
Makes
Bunch of
the dream
assholes.
work.
All right. Yeah, you can dive in front of us.
Oh,
Okay.
I can't really put myself
So
in there,
these,
but
she comes
you know
lancing
what's
out,
going on.
and then all of a sudden, power slide.
Power
on
slide.
Shield cord.
We'll see if we need it first.
And then I got 2 strikes, and they're both gonna hit for sure.
Are you sure?
Okay. One is a 28, and the other is a 31.
Damn.
Those both hit.
Those both hit.
That's not.
I
what
do not shield cord.
But you have to make him worried. You have to check the sheet like there's a chance.
Let me just make sure I don't have any other weird stuff going on here. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't think so.
Dice here going, so I can do it up here.
Because I didn't make a roll there, so that doesn't matter. I don't think so. I think that's all I got. That's okay.
You take 46.
Oof. Thank you.
So, wait, how do I make this work? Minus 46. Minus 46. I have here on my
Continue with
sheet.
your action.
You got it.
Oh, I guess I would have to wait till my thing. Never mind.
Yeah, your turn hasn't actually
That's
happened.
not my
That's all
actual
an
turn.
interruption.
Yeah. Forgot that was interruption.
A 19 to go for that thread connecting Kina. Nice.
Okay.
On the strike
Okay.
number 1
Roll damage.
is 12 slashing and 2 necrotic.
Okay.
And second strike on it. A 13, but screw it. We're gonna auto crit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I burn an Eldritch Smite on that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So we need to treat this as a 20. So let's do the roll first. All right, so that would be 12. The 6 doubled plus 5. Okay, so that's 17 damage plus 4 necrotic for the regular strike, and then the smite is going to be 72 force damage.
And then as you burn through it all, no! And then you see all the threads sever in front of Kina's throat, and the remainder she forcefully expels out of her. And then she reaches up and grabs onto you, and you see her just nodding. And she's barely conscious. And Sataza's form she loses about a foot of height as some
Does that
of
mean
the
that she
threads
moved a
visibly
foot?
diminish. No, it doesn't mean that.
Sounds like the top of her head moved a foot. I'm just saying.
Doesn't mean that. She sees what you're all attempting on her turn and attempts to break away from these stupid rocks that are holding her feet.
Yeah.
Because they're dumb. And she rolls dog shit to
That's
get
right.
up there.
That's right.
The best was an 11. So she is held fast by your bullshit. And
It's boulder
she's
shit.
going to lance
Boulder
out
shit.
at Fulcrum, who has betrayed her. How dare he? And I hit a 16, which I'm sure is a miss, and a
That is.
natural 20.
Oh,
All right.
that's gonna hurt.
I can't block this one.
That's okay.
Now
Can't
what's
block
happening?
this
Come
one.
on. Come in with the natural 20.
So that is technically
That's
doubling the dice. So that
48.
is, yeah. Yeah, that's 48.
okay.
Okay, Sid, you're up.
Okay,
She tried to move, but she can't.
nice.
Well,
So, here's what's gonna happen.
ooh, all right.
Since I used a bonus action in a previous round to give the commands to the objects, they continue doing whatever the last thing was I told them to do.
Right.
So the shears are going to do some slashing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and that 20
Ooh, finally got it to go.
for 11 damage.
Nice. They go snippy, snip, 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 and then like little threads are popping off, and it's starting to look like this particular area of the fight is starting to look like you're in a seamstress's outside workspace, and there's just broken little fragments of thread everywhere.
This is like, wasn't it in Cinderella when the fairy godmother was like making everything dance around? Was that? Am I remembering the wrong Disney movie?
All right.
She used a lot of light. You're thinking of Sword in the Stone, I think.
Maybe,
'Cause Merlin
or
made
maybe it was
physical
Sleeping
objects
Beauty.
move.
Okay, I don't remember.
All
One
right.
of those happened.
The boulders.
Cinderella, it's the mice use all the thread needles.
that's
and
true.
everyone
That's
runs
true.
with the rest.
Maybe I was thinking of like, I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's Disney. It happened. Just believe me.
The Rockin' Boys take Sataza into the new tomb. And Sid looks at everyone and says, "Well, I'm glad this is getting wrapped up. I'm running out of material."
Oh.
Oh,
So are you saying she moved more than a foot?
That was your best
Yeah.
one yet.
Thank you. Thank
Okay. She takes 13 poison damage.
I just want you to
guess.
know she definitely moved, Cam.
Oh, no, slashing. Sorry, it was slashing.
Slashing's better than
Slash
poison.
Yeah, slashing.
Cam, she takes that
Yeah.
damage as threads. As
Good.
the thorns are tearing through threads, and the thorns
Good.
are now becoming wrapped up in the knotwork while grinding pieces of thread away.
That's kind of what I was hoping for. Is
Yeah.
They just got all tangled in there.
It's a real mess.
So Sid will move up, but no, Sid's not going to move. Sid is holding his action.
Okay.
I have a specific idea in mind of what I will do once the rest of the guys have moved to wherever they need to be.
Okay.
I can whisper it to you, perhaps. I can actually get this.
Perhaps.
Surprise me.
Okay.
It's more fun when I get
Didn't know if
surprised.
you needed me to say it. Okay.
No. Well, fine.
All right, boys. it needs to
Morgan,
be
your
finished in
actual
there.
turn.
My actual turn. All right. We are going to start with. I've got a little thing here on my sheet that I don't exactly remember how or why I got, but I have Salandeel's Bless. So it's a 4d8 plus 10 heal that I'm going to do on myself because that last thing hurt. 18 plus 10. 28. I'm going to take 28 health back.
Lovely.
I like that.
As this
Plus
thing moves
28.
over the pit and starts to fall in, she is trying to hang on to the sides so she can't get suspended into it. She's about halfway in as multiple threads are octopusing out to stop her from falling in.
Okay. And then I'm going to cunning action. Come over here. Make me a little hide check. That's over 30. And then I'm going to use my action surge, and then I'm going to hold it for when she gets, because I know we've discussed before that if she dies in hell, she dies forever or something. So we're going to wait until she is the most in hell that I can determine by not knowing what that actually
Which is
means.
more hell than the hell she's already in.
Yes, and then we're going to just Mega Gagato.
Mega
You are healed 4 charisma.
Amazing. I'm one away from full.
Kodo, you're up.
The purple electricity fades as Kodo's maul starts to crackle
Mm-hmm.
in a purple lightning. I'm gonna pull a wall up on her. I'm gonna auto crit because why not? Right?
That's what you do.
And
Why not?
Tis the season. Nice go.
This is
what I do.
revenge. This is revenge against Timmy for taking away your big fight last game.
Question: Can I? No, I'll ask when it happens. God damn!
Whoa!
So,
all right.
It's funny. 46. I rolled 6665.
Jesus.
That was nice. That's the maul.
Badass.
So 33 damage on the maul. The rest of this is going to be radiant. So that's
Jesus.
then 41 radiant, and then I have to roll my smite damage.
Then I have to roll my smite damage.
Then we'll roll smite.
The big game of whack-a-mole right there.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, smash.
It's just like a cam round, except we're all waiting in silence for a giant number.
Yeah, right.
Except he's actually going to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, and 53 from the smite.
Nice.
All right. Okay.
I like So we wait for the big damage from Clint, but when it's my round, they're like, okay, what saving throw is he gonna pass against? Just tell me which one it is. Like, which saving throw is he gonna blow out of the water? It's fine.
Yeah.
It's true. All right. How do you want her story to end, Kodo?
I don't.
Shit.
Oh. Just gonna leave her with one hit
So,
point to suffer.
I am going to do whatever it takes to try to read this to keep her barely alive.
Okay. You can pull a punch.
Even
that's
if it takes me hitting her to like kill and lay of hands 1 hit point on my next action
fine. No.
keep her
I'm
alive. Like, I don't care.
gonna give you guys that. I'm just gonna let you pull your punch as much as you choose to.
Okay.
So, she gets. It's a strange combination because here's the reality of what's happening. There are like 3 forces happening all at once. As she gets moved away, all the threads wrapped up in Balrin's legs start going taut, and he just grips and pulls. And as you hammer, her body is shunted slightly askew as Balrin just pulls harder. And the threads go away from her. And you guys see a ribbon, a rainbow of multicolored thread peel away from her form as what is left hanging in the rust gate is a large silkworm with 8 humanoid elongated demonic arms and 4 mandibles and 6 eyes. And she's this giant pulsing larval silkworm.
Nice.
And she has been beat to hell, and there are no threads left. They're all gone.
I'm aiming, and I look over at Fulcrum, and I give him the nod.
Yeah, and I say, I'll let the child take care of you.
All right, I'm just gonna drop out of Anish. So, Fulcrum, you're up.
Is there still a thread? Can I still see threads going from me to Stitch to her? Or are those even severed now after what just happened?
No, those are severed now. You see a faint one from Stitch to her, but you see the one that was with you with that big last hit fades away.
I'm going to try and look at the point where it looks like that faint one from Stitch to her is leading to on her body.
Mm-hmm.
And as I stare at her, I'm going to scowl for a moment. The eyes are going to shift to red. And then my face is going to soften somewhat, shift back to white. And then a crown of stars is going to appear over my head. I'm just going to look her straight, hang over hell, and tell her, go home. And I'm going to blast her with one of the stars at that point where it looks like the thread is going to her.
Okay. You see the mandibles are like, child. And then she falls and falls and falls.
To her hell death.
And with that, Selaniel pulls out of you and takes her form again. And she looks at the sword and she looks towards the gate. You don't need that.
I toss it in after. Actually, I look at it, and instead of tossing it in, I just hold it out in front of me, and the rotation of stars spins up again, and another one shoots right out at Stitch.
And as it hits, you see Stitch go dull, like a gunmetal dull, a little pitted, and it loses all the ornate coloration of the various symbols. And suddenly, as it falls away, it becomes a worn old sword of nothing special, and clangs, hitting all the walls all the way down.
Thanks for everything.
You don't need to thank me. They were here to guide you. They were the family. I didn't have the freedom to give you. But I can give you this. And she just holds out her hand. There's nothing in it.
I take it with both my hands.
And with that, you now have a celestial patron.
My.
And you are a level 20 warlock with a celestial patron instead of a fiend.
Nice.
And you guys see Fulcrum's eyes go only white. And for a brief moment, his wings last longer than they should for the spell that was cast.
I'd give him a pan-dad pat on the back. I knew you had it in you, you damn little devil.
Thanks.
Doesn't apply anymore.
Yeah.
Hey, no, it
As
still
you guys-
applies. I'm still me.
As you guys look, Fulcrum's skin, once healed, no longer has any of the tattoos. It's just skin. He's still blue. He still has the horns.
Might have to get some ink now.
You know, I might leave it for a little bit. But, one day, maybe the other arm.
Scales.
It kind of still feels a little weird. I could see my bone not too long ago.
Made out of stone stuff. Done.
I'm only as
Did you
stern as
guys-
those you guys. Thank you.
Keena's okay, but her red dagger's gone. And you get this, and she basically communicates that she feels no connection to any greater power in her. Dazra tends to her, and as you guys reflect on what happens and decide your next course of action, within an hour, the ground over here gets red hot in a 5-foot radius, and one of
Nice.
hold on, where are they?
Yeah.
You see one of the many rises up, and you see he's holding in his hand a large, almost looks like a wrestling belt,
Yes.
and he lays it down on the ground, and he says,
I of the many present that which is reforged. The Great Mother says it is done. And to those chosen, the crucible, I present the blessings of the Titans.
and he's holding out 5 little stones. One is brown, one is gray, one is orange, one is red, and one is white.
Bauer will pick up the winch. Thank you, my friend.
You now have the winch, and the winch, as you feel it flow through you, you instantly feel the tide itself, and you know what level of sea the tide currently is, regardless of where you are. You can also now water step whenever you are touching any water. And water step is 5 times a day. You can dimension door if you're touching water, and you can exit water.
Nice.
Nice.
And then if you choose to walk on water, you can do that all day.
Nice.
You can feel far, far away, but you know vaguely where it is, that it's not on this plane. Something is waiting for you.
Now, remind me, when we were on board the grid, is the chalice there?
Yep.
Good. I don't know what these stones are.
Walk up and I grab the orange one. I like the color.
Grab the red because it matches my outfit.
I guess with everything that just happened to me, I'll take white.
Sense. Already.
When you grab the orange one, the little Many says, Magma the Mother. When you grab the red one, the Roar King's Blessing. Who grabbed the white one?
I did. Fulcrum.
The Sorrow of Frost. 3 once one, now one alone. Brown and gray remain.
Referee.
Doesn't that make any difference to me?
Well, I wear a lot of brown. C could be gray. But the C for you.
Gray works well. Pick it up.
You grab gray, Grandfather Mountain. And when you grab brown, Grandmother Under. You gentlemen now have the Titan's Blessings, which does what I just shared to you.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's small.
Grandfather Peak. What?
Ooh. What?
Once per day, you can activate these, and then you take on the blessings of the Titans into battle with you.
Yeah, yes.
Schnickies.
We're writing this shit down somewhere.
And it's small. Hold on. Make that.
Wait, is it in our journal so we can just look at it in the journal?
Should be.
Nice. Like a sinkhole?
Now, obviously, if you want to trade, you can trade, because touching them gives you knowledge of what they do. And as you take those on, off in the distance, you see the storm spin harder, and you see spiraling out of the center giant red lightning as the storm starts to funnel, and the hurricane of the great Everstorm starts to move in towards the center. And that's where we're going to wrap for the night.
Woo!
Damn. Bravo, sir. Bravo.
Love you guys. Thank you all so much. Get out of my poison relationship again.
It was.
Man.
Where the heck did this go?
Ornish. Pinkies.
There it is.
So next time, we'll see what happens. I imagine next game will be long. We're trying to schedule out when that's going to be. Hopefully we can have it happen sooner than later. Next game will likely be our last game of Everstorm, but the guys have been known to surprise me from time to time, so we'll see. But I'm hoping it's the last game so we can wrap 3 years of gaming.
Hell yeah.
Dang.
Hell yes.
Stuff.
So this was technically let's see, where am I? Keep anything at? Hold on. This is technically game 64.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Good stuff.
It's been a blast. Thank you, Levi.
Yeah.
We're not done yet.
Right, we're not done yet. But
We'll get
We're
there.
not done
we're
yet.
home stretch. It's gonna be fun.
Alright.
Take a look at the stones. Make sure you're happy with what you pick. You guys have so much you can do though at level 20. I wouldn't be shocked if you're just like it's whatever.
It's pretty badass.
Plus 2 to AC from just about anything, or anything that's AC is nice.
I mean, I can be a giant.
It's funny. I didn't even see the AC.
Can't you already
part.
do that?
Yeah, but now I get like an extra +4 strength.
Yeah, I don't need to trade for the anything strength, so you guys just go ahead with that.
Very cool.
Yeah, and all of them, the way it's going to work, all of them have the form that you just take for the fight. And then the cool attack is going to work like a bad guy's legendary action. So you guys use those, and then after you use them, you have a 1 in 4 chance of it returning on a D4 roll. So at the top of your turn, you roll it, and if you get a 4, it comes back, and you do it again.
That's cool.
Nice.
But then it is a bonus action to do whatever that thing is.
Do the additional. So you get the form, and then you can bonus action that extra effect.
Yeah. And the form lasts for a fight.
Oh God! I just noticed that Grand Under Form gets
It's
Earth Glide 120
fucking
feet. Oh my
great.
God!
Plus 3 AC, 120 feet Earth Glide, immune to acid.
Advantage on stealth. Wow.
Make a sinkhole. Dude.
That's
pretty
good.
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude, that's where we keep all our stuff.
All right. One of our own has to be really far away at 8 a.m. So we need to wrap.
Yes.
Yep.
Factual.
Has to be really far
Thank
away.
you so much for coming back, everybody. We will post as soon as we know a good time. I want to shoot for next week, but I don't know if that's possible. We'll see. And thanks for coming out, everybody. It's great to be back.
Yay! Thank you all.
Oh, next week on Wednesday night, we'll be back for Yeehaw. Thank fucking God.
On Wednesday, Thursday.
Thursday.
Thursday's Yeehaw. Tomorrow night, me and Jeff are definitely doing community night, I believe. So.
That is correct. Absolutely.
Nice. Definitely, I believe.
Kind of looks like
Monday.
And now we're coming back with Yeehaw. I have to make September a bad guy.
Yeah.
Concept of September is a bad guy in Yeehaw.
September, when September ends you.
That's right.
We have anybody to raid, or we want the cold close?
I don't have access to TT2KB right now.
All right. With all the recent Twitch stuff, there's a lot of shenanigans at play. So I think we're just gonna go ahead and wrap her up. So thanks everyone.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
All right.
Appreciate you all.
Thank you.
See you, everybody.
Have a lovely night. Take care, everybody.